Welcome to Trivia Viral. Our channel covers all the latest analysis and recaps on TV shows and movies, as well as interesting stories and facts that you may not have known. So sit back, relax, and subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying our videos so far. When a boy is asked to tell the story of someone he admires in his school, the boy tells the story of his grandfather and his dog. We go back in time, and we see a dog being shipped away by commute. However, his cage suddenly breaks and falls out of the train without anyone noticing. He walks around the station alone until a man wearing a coat finds him. Because nobody in the train seems to be the dog's owner, the man decides to bring him home temporarily. He hides the dog in his study. This is because his wife doesn't like having pets. However, the dog sneaks out of his cage and surprises his wife. The wife says that the puppy must stay in the barn as a condition for keeping him. This man has a daughter who loves the dog. He tries to get someone to adopt his puppy, but nobody has any interest. The puppy remains unclaimed, and the two grow close while he takes it everywhere with him, including to his classes. He is a professor who teaches music and art. He learns from a Japanese professor friend that the dog is a breed called Akita that is popular in Japan, and the number 8 on his collar is believed to represent good luck. This becomes the puppy's name. The wife is still against having a dog in the house, especially after her office has been damaged. She is initially very concerned about the puppy, but gradually warms up after seeing its bond with the man. When someone calls to offer to adopt the dog, the wife says no. This video is sponsored by QD. QD is Asia's largest platform for students, tutors, and coaches to match up for lessons. Sign up at QD today. Several years later, the dog climbs the fence to get to the station one morning. Apparently, he is following the man who was going to go to work, but he is delayed because the dog is there. He refuses to go home, so the man misses the train. He goes back and leaves the dog with the wife, then gets on the next train. However, later in the afternoon, the dog jumps over the fence after hearing the train horn. The dog waits patiently for the man to return home. The man is shocked that he has not been waiting to return home all day. Instead, the dog somehow understood his schedule. The two walk home. The dog and the man walk to the train station together every day since then. The dog goes home before the man leaves and goes back when his train is about to return. He is always on time, but he isn't interested in doing typical dog things like playing fetch. The man tells his Japanese friend about the dog's behavior. The friend says that Akitas do not like to do what most dogs do. They prefer to spend time with their owners. If the dog fetches a ball, it will be for a very special reason. The routine continues to the point that everybody in the station is familiar with the dog. When their daughter gets married to a nice man, the wedding photograph includes the dog. One day, the man is surprised to find that the dog does not wait for him when he is going to a train station. He asks and looks around for the dog. Eventually, he sees that the dog couldn't leave because it was afraid of a skunk. It is a happy day for the family when the daughter announces that she is pregnant. One morning during the winter, the dog acts strangely. At the station, he suddenly fetches a ball for the first time, which makes the owner happy. After they play for a while, the man keeps the ball in his pocket. The dog barks and barks as the train leaves the station. That same day, the man is teaching a class. He is holding the ball in his hand when he suddenly suffers a stroke. It's fatal, and he passes immediately. The dog waits as usual, but of course the man doesn't show. Eventually, the daughter's husband comes by to get him. The dog sits in his shed and watches as his family mourns. The daughter tries to explain, but the dog only stares. While the man's loved ones go to his funeral, the dog waits at the station faithfully. The man's wife sells his house and moves away. The dog stays behind with the daughter, her husband, and their baby. The baby is then the boy who tells the story at the beginning. The dog still seems sad over the man's passing even after a long time. He escapes from the house one day and runs down the tracks to Bedridge. The daughter and her husband attempt to follow him. The dog finds his way to the man's old house, but everything is different. So he goes to the same station and waits for the man. His owners eventually find the man and bring him home. But the daughter sees how the dog still longs for the man. She finally allows him out of the house one day. The dog licks her hand and runs to the train station. The dog continues his routine of waiting for the man at 5 p.m. He befriends the hot dog seller and other familiar faces in the station. When a reporter writes a story about the dog, people begin to send messages and gifts at the train station. The Japanese friend sees the article and comes to town to help, only to find out how much the community dotes after the dog. The friend tells the dog in Japanese how he misses the man as well. On the 10th anniversary of the man's passing, the wife goes to visit her husband's grave with the Japanese friend. She is moved to see the now older dog sitting in his usual place at the station, even though it takes him a long time to get there due to his age. At home during Christmas, the wife tells her grandson everything that she knows about the old dog and the man. We have flashbacks of the two being together. Later that night, the dog goes to the station. We see the last person pass through the train door. It is the man. He calls out happily. The dog raises his head and runs into his arms. Then suddenly a bright light shows up on the screen. We see the dog lying still on the ground. The boy says that the tale taught him the value of loyalty and cherishing your loved ones. When the boy is ready to go home, his dad picks him up with a small puppy that they named after the dog.
What are your thoughts about the story? Let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe if you would like to see more similar videos, and give us a thumbs up to get more recommendations of our videos. Be the first to watch the latest videos by clicking the bell icon. See you on the next video.